the final declaration.
The Shanghai Cooperation Organization has adopted the Tianjin Declaration, and this is what I've read to you is part of the final declaration. Now, the final declaration, as per how these procedures work, is that there can be dissenting states who choose not to sign the final declaration. Okay, but the declaration is put to this committee, which is sitting, which are the member states, and it is passed. So the majority of them have to pass. So I don't know if the Pakistanis have objected or not objected. They probably have. I'll try to find out. In fact, my colleague Megha is with us on the broadcast. Megha, this is big news because the SCO declaration has adopted pretty much word by word what India would have liked to have inserted on terrorism. It almost sounds like exactly the language the Prime Minister Modi was referring to in his statement, and the entire SCO has come and adopted this, despite the fact that, of course, the Pakistanis, whom this is exactly directed at, are also sitting there.
Yes, absolutely. There had been deliberations that had been going on, and this was the #1 moot issue for India, for the SCO member states to condemn the Pahalgam terror attack that happened on 22nd of April. And this is the resolution in the joint declaration that has been added. This is point #1, fight of the SCO member states against terrorism. And this is a fight against terrorism to safeguard the humanity, safeguard people, safeguard countries that are associated with the SCO and not with the SCO. So this, again, I would like to take you back to what happened a few months ago. The Defense Minister Rajnath Singh, during the SCO Defense Ministers meeting that had taken place in Beijing just a few months ago, had raised this issue. India has been continuously raising this issue of the Pahalgam terror attack and the condemnation that needs to come from the member states.
No, in fact, it was Rajnath Singh who is, as India's representative, had objected to the SCO not recognizing issues on terrorism, and the exact opposite is happening this time, which shows something different has taken place.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, back then, what the Minister of External Affairs made in a release, in a statement, was that India had raised objections and raised concerns over the terror attack that had happened, and wanted the mention of the Pahalgam terror attack that had taken place in April. And there was, quote unquote, one particular country that had reservations mentioning that Pahalgam terror attack. And I think it's anybody's guess which this country was. But obviously, after these discussions and deliberations that have happened, it has been verbatim taken exactly in the language that India wanted it to be put. The condemnation of the terror attack that struck India, and the fight of the SCO nations coming together in unison, in cohesion, to fight global terror. And I think that's a massive success. It's a big achievement for India to be able to bring everybody on the table in unison.
No, in fact, if I'm not mistaken, they mention specifically the Pahalgam attack. It's not a generalized. It is a very specific declaration mentioning Pahalgam in its specificity.
And that was the point of contention during the Defense Ministers SCO summit that was taking place. The question that India raised was that why is it that there is one particular country that has held its reservations about the Pahalgam terror attack, mentioning the Pahalgam terror attack and condemning it in all the way. And I think that modification has been made now in the joint declaration. So it's a huge, big victory for India. The fact that all the 10 SCO member states have come out in support of India. We see that Pakistan, whatever reservations, apprehensions it may have raised, have been overruled clearly, because this is exactly what the joint declaration
Megha, can you check for us, please? Can you check for us if Pakistan has signed this declaration or whether they've avoided signing the declaration? That will be interesting. Because
but the fact that until and unless all members sign the declaration, it cannot be released.
You can have somebody who chooses not to sign. It can be adopted without them. Just check on this for us, because either way it's interesting. I know it's a curiosity, is limited to a curiosity, but if Pakistan has signed a declaration condemning the Pahalgam attack and all forms of cross-border terrorism, it will be interesting in the context of the events that you're narrating to us. Okay, Megha, now what's up next? When is the Putin-Modi situation happening, and what's the schedule now?
Yeah, so now the plenary session is now over. The SCO summit officially comes to an end. The joint declaration has been adopted. by the member states, and we are in very short time going to see that bilateral meeting happening between Prime Minister Modi and President Putin. Is it going to last as long as the one that happened between Modi and Xi Jinping? Remains to be seen. But it's going to be at 1:30 p.m. Local time, 1:40 p.m. local time.
Right now must be about 12:30 there, quarter to 12,
yes,
or 12:30. What's the time
yes,
right now?
Yes, it's 1 p.m. here, about 1 p.m.
So another half an hour from now, we're expecting the meeting between.
And then after that, yes, after 40 to 45 minutes, the Prime Minister is scheduled to plane from Tianjin and return to Delhi. Now, this is a very, the Prime Minister is on a very tight schedule right now. Even yesterday, the Prime Minister and Ministry of External Affairs said that, while there was an official dinner that was scheduled to be, or an official lunch that was scheduled for the Prime Minister on behalf of Xi Jinping, that was to be led by Kai Ki, that had to be cancelled because the Prime Minister was in a really tight schedule. So, this is just going to be the plenary. The plenary ends. Is going to be a bilateral that happens with Putin, and then the Prime Minister heads back to New Delhi. That's the schedule.
So we are not expecting any other bilaterals today other than the one with Russia.
No, there are no. I think the bilaterals that the Prime Minister, the three main bilaterals, the two happened yesterday. The one that is going to happen.
Okay. Do you have any information on whether a press briefing will happen? Because I'm assuming the team will travel with him, and they will also be in a rush. So any press briefing?
Yes, there are not going to be press briefings that are likely to happen over here in Tianjin. There is a likelihood of a press briefing that happens tomorrow in New Delhi.
Okay.
Once the Ministry of External Affairs team lands in the national capital.
Okay, and but I'm assuming a press statement will come out, and the press statement will be acknowledging what you and I have just discussed.
Yes, of course.
That the SCO declaration has, in specificity, condemned the Pahalgam terror attack, with Pakistan sitting right there on the table. And the ironies and the plethora of ironies that we are dealing with, Megha, is that Munir is sitting and having lunch or dinner in the White House, and the Chinese presidentship of the SCO is condemning Pahalgam with Pakistan sitting on the table. A lot of ironies taking place there.
Absolutely. In fact, there was a picture of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Putin hugging each other. They were walking, they were all smiles, and in the backdrop is Shahbaz Sharif. He's standing over there overlooking this conversation that is being had between Putin and Modi. I think that sets the tone. That sets the tone that, Pakistan seems to have been in the background in this entire summit by way of the visuals that have been released, by way of the images that have been put out, informal trilateral.
Okay, so here, Megha, here's the twist. Stay with me. I'm coming straight back to you. Here's the twist, because along with this, in the SCO declaration, it says that member states strongly condemn the military strikes by Israel and the United States of America against the Islamic Republic of Iran in June 2025. Such aggressive actions against civilian targets, including nuclear energy infrastructure, which resulted in the death of civilians, are a gross violation of the principles and norms of international law and the UN Charter, and an infringement on the sovereignty of the Islamic Republic of Iran. They undermine regional and international security and have serious implications for global peace and stability. So, like I said, we are full of conundrums and ironies. The Iranians are also there, and on the face value of it's a sovereign country, can you attack any sovereign country that you want to? The answer is no. But will the Americans and Israelis think that they should be restricted from attacking Iran? The answer is no. They'll think that it was fair game. So clearly a strong statement, and Iran gets support as well.
Yes, it's very interesting, and this is I think the first ever direct attack targeting of United States of America that has happened in this joint communique, the declaration that has been released during the SCO summit. This attack against Iran in June 2025. That has been the main point that has been raised in the joint declaration. We already saw that Russia has come out in support of Iran when those US-Israeli strikes struck Iran. We also saw that a number of other countries, including China, was also in full support of Iran. Here, India had been, keeping a very neutral stance, but it did condemn the attacks that had happened on Iran, but did not pinpoint any country particularly. But here, with this statement that has been released, where the joint declaration writes that the condemnation of the military strikes by Israel and by the United States of America on Iran, and is talking about the aggressive actions against civilian targets, infrastructure leading to the death of civilians, as well as military personnel, is something that has been taken up very strongly in the SCO summit. Russia has also been talking to Iran with regards to its nuclear program, which has witnessed a lot of condemnation from the United States, a lot of condemnation from European nations. The E3 nations have in fact been wanting to further put UN sanctions on Iran. So this is, and Turkey has also, come out in complete support of Iran. And while there has been Pakistan that has been dilly-dallying, while it has been playing on both sides, it seems like it's losing out over here, because on one hand,
you and I both know that the reason that Donald Trump was having dinner with Asim Munir was not because of India. He was having dinner with him was because of Iran, and what Asim Munir was doing in providing information regarding the locations of the Iranian leadership who were all assassinated in US airstrikes. Okay, just stay with me because we have more information coming in. I want